we have a difference of opinion on this fight here. And this is a real stylistic clash, man. You got Punahele Soriano, man, a dude who has, I mean, listen, one clean shot from that guy, and that's game over. Then you got a Roman Kopylov, who, while I don't think he quite gets the credit that he deserves, right? He had a little bit of a slow start to his UFC tenure. Very technical fighter, very, very technical fighter, and possesses the skill set to nullify a lot of guys. That's the issue that I have here, though, AJ, is that can you nullify a Punahele Soriano for all 15 minutes of this fight? Because all it takes is 1 second, 2 seconds for him to hit that one blow and to get the win. And I think a perfect example of that is his last fight against Dalcha Lungiambule. You watched that fight. He was frustrated. Puna was frustrated after that first round, man. Things were not really looking his way. But all he needed is what? One right cross to land, and that finished the entire show. And we're not talking about your average middleweight. We're talking about Dalcha Lungiambule, champion. I actually don't think he's longer with the company. I think he actually just got cut from the UFC. But the point remains, that's a scary guy. You don't want to fight that guy. Roman Kopylov, he's also coming off of a fantastic win against Alessio Di Chirico, where he got a finish, man, a late round finish, and that's a scary guy too. So when it comes down to the technical prowess and it comes down to the multifaceted, explosive fighter who is Punahele Soriano, who do you think can, if this goes 3 rounds, who has an advantage over the course of 3 rounds?
If it goes 3 rounds, Derek, Roman Kopylov all day long, man. The one problem I see with Puna, like you said, Derek, this dude can put you to sleep within seconds, within a millisecond. Next thing you know, you're waking up in the locker room and you're asking what happened, all right? But come round 2.5, Punahele really starts to take a downturn, man. We've seen in a couple of his fights where they start, the belly starts extending, the lungs start huffing and puffing. This dude's holding on to you. And with how technical a fighter Kopylov is, this dude can really get on his bike and make Puna work, make those muscles a disadvantage. But at the same point, man, the one thing that does scare me, Derek, we say it all the time, you got to stay perfect for 15 minutes. Can Kopylov do that when this dude is throwing just hammers down the pipe? Because Puna has some serious power. And he's one of the guys I think of, if there's ever a train, a train track you're standing on and Puna's coming down the tracks, man, get 3 states down the way because this dude has some serious power coming down the pipe. And it makes it a very interesting fight for Kopylov. Now, to that point, I think this is the moment Kopylov will really see his growth expand, man. If he can get one over on Puna and in a technical way, in a knockout, something flashy, something where he sets it up, comes across, then I think we're going to see the stars for Kopylov coming, man. There's a lot of support for all the Russian fighters out there, and Kopylov is one of the ones that doesn't just use the ground game. He's skilled down there, but he likes to strike. So he's a little bit fan-friendly to the American crowd, to all the people that like to see the brawling style. But you don't want to brawl with Puna, do you, Derek?
You don't. And that's one thing that I was actually going to say is that you would think, being such a technical fighter, that Kopylov would be like this technician that can get the takedown anytime he wants. People forget, Puna's a wrestler, bro. This dude can wrestle, man. So that's the other advantage here, is that if you need to take the shot, he can hold you down too. And he can knock your face off. I do agree. This goes 3 rounds. Things might be looking a little tough for Soriano. But we also understand that in judging, if you land a knockdown in every single one of these rounds, well, look at the scoring. You could win a decision that way, right? Now, I have to go, and I'm going to be just completely frank here, I have to go with the time-tested, the true methodology. Give me the TKO at Punahele Soriano, plus 175 right here, man. I like that. Even though it's tough, because if you look at Kopylov's 2 losses in the UFC, they've come to grapplers. They haven't been against these big punchers. So I like Puna here for the TKO. The question is going to be, I mean, if we're looking at what the over and under is, man, I mean, this is 2.5 rounds for the over and under. It's the minus 140 for the under, about plus 110 for the over. But why is it at 2.5 rounds, given that this is a Puna fight? You know, and most Puna fights, 1.5 rounds for the over and under. So does that give you any intuition right there of how the odds makers are seeing this fight, like, potentially playing out?
Well, and even though Puna is the favorite on the money line right there, I think they're thinking this might go the distance, and that's why it's above 2.5. Kopylov is hard to put away. I was actually trying to look right now. Has he been knocked out? I don't know. He's only been decisioned and rear naked choked. Carl Robertson and Duraev. Yep. So to get a knockout on this dude is pretty hard. And to that point, Kopylov has 8 knockouts. 8 knockouts, no submissions. This dude can crack, and he has a lot of counter punches. I was looking at that plus 375 decision for Kopylov. I'm going with Kopylov on this one. if Puna's in there throwing heat and then Kopilov's able to set something up, I can see a knockout happening here. It's a big risk. I'm actually going to take that knockout, man. Plus 350 TKO for Kopylov. I know.
Sheesh.
I was going to go decision, folks. I'll let it out of the bag. I was going to go decision, but it's a little juicy. 350, and there's something on it. We'll see.
That is juicy, and I want to actually take a look right now because now I feel like my man Punahele Soriano is being a little disrespected right here. But let's take a look. Punahele Soriano, in his entire MMA career, he only has, 2 losses, both by decision, never been knocked out. So once again, my man AJ comes in, starts the year off bold. Once again, he predicts the knockout for the man who's never been knocked out. I will say this. Kopylov can also try to set something up and just get clipped by Soriano and the fight can be over. So, I mean, listen, someone's going to be right here, but that is going to be a good one. Let's move on to this next.